Alrighty then, let's get into it here tonight. What are we talking about here tonight? We've got a couple things. We're talking about some advanced level strategies. I'm going to talk to you guys about retail run, particularly major topic here tonight. I'm also going to go into the Ask Vinny questions section. Literally one trade, one and done today. Don't forget this week, I got our brand new Econo Day calendar. If you guys haven't seen this, you can go get one of these on the website there. 2019 economic calendar. It's pretty cool. So all the stuff that you see over there on Forex Factory, on paper, again, I'm not really a big paper guy, but you know what? I need to save some screen real estate, so I like having this next to me. Easy to always just have there next to me and see and sit. So what's going on this week? We've got Wednesday, big FOMC, and some sort of unplanned conversations are out. I looked on the website version here, and we've got... there were three here. Who is chatting this week? I need to refresh my page. There it is. Jerome Powell going to be speaking 3 of those days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this early part of the week, we're going to get some of that slowness going on. What's up, Chris? So one trade in and out. I told you guys this morning to be very careful. It's going to be slow, right? Beginning of the week, you can already just tell. We got that much stuff at the end of the week. The institutional money that's coming in, you know, there might be a few flows here and there. There's going to be some accumulation zones. And of course, basically just hop on the other side of a retail trader and good stuff. So why today is a perfect opportunity to talk about one of my favorite things. Great title right here, Noobs and the Retail Run Strategy. If you want some suggestions for some noob rooms to go hang out in, I've got the room for you. A guy named Seth Ellis, you can go hang out in his room. He is real good at having people tell you the wrong side of a trade. Gave us confidence in our trade here today, and I'll talk about how we do that. What's up, Curtis? You on the mic with me? I see him back here rolling with me. He can help me answer some questions here for you guys here tonight. So, what was our trade? Let's just go right back into the trade of the day, talk about how this strategy works, and then I think some folks over in the Ask Vinny Questions section from the weekend, if you guys want to sneak one in, pop it over in the Ask Vinny Questions. Right, so here's ES, again, kind of our guideline for the E-mini indexes, and let's just pull straight into our trade of the day. There was actually 2 great calls, called one of those turtles, and if you didn't watch if you missed out on the turtle trading strategy, you need to go learn that one, folks. I'll be calling that one a lot more. Again, we see them. There's a lot coming out right now. You can actually even see the turtle on the Dow. Now, the turtle call that I actually called, I hope you guys can see that and see those ones, I hope, coming flooding in there on this screen without me diagramming it. But then I'm going to come over here to the ES. Here is the one I actually called. Let's bring the ES over here. This is the ES turtle that I called in the room today. Do you see the similarities? I mean, it's pretty striking. All right, you should be able to see the turtle in there. This is the ES trade. Turtle, I'm going to go ahead and start drawing it in. Hopefully you guys will catch it. So P for price. We got our feet. We got our shell. We got a straight neck. I totally botched that second part there, didn't I? All right, nice shell comes right to where? Right here. Okay, what do we got? Spiky back shell. Straight neck. Wham. Remember, that's a key feature of a turtle. Okay, you got to have that straight neck. Okay, we're breaking necks here. All right, now we got a head. We got a turtle head. Now the trickiest part with this was I never got a green dot. I never got an entry on this. You'd have to go to a much lower time frame. Actually, there is no lower time frame. This is on the candy bar singles. So this is a tough one today on the ES. There was nothing there. But remember, this gives me confidence in something else. So I did not get the ES trade because I didn't have an entry. Okay. Big pop up and out. There's the big money move right there, up and out of the turtle trade. But again, didn't get a great entry. No entry here for us to take the easy entry. But definitely the pattern and the formation was there. The head was there. Just nothing to give us an easy entry. Kind of tough here because we're sitting at the sandy line on the open, right? That's the big sandy line in the sand. You guys hear me use that all the time. All right. But there we go. Did the pop up, hit the high of day, bazinga. Great, there on the ES. Now that was the one I called. So that gave me the confidence, another piece of the confidence. Remember, confidence, confluence, we get the rhyme and the reason, what I'm building my confidence in this trade. What made this one easier for me, I actually called this before, again, I did not know this was a turtle at the time. Okay, I saw this setup right here. Okay, what should I see here, right? You guys don't get the turtle, please tell me my basic strategy I teach you guys. Number one, when you come in here, what do I teach? I'm teaching you the double dot strategy. So again, you should automatically see this. That's a double dot. I mean, there's no question around this. This is just straight up double dot. Okay, easy trade, right? Now, what gave me additional confidence? Because remember, this was super slow. Even right here, you might start getting a little nervous. You're like, oh man, you know, nervous wreck. I don't know if it's going to get up there or not. I don't know if it's going to go. We kind of start coming down here. We're like, oof, that's tough. But right about this time, I want to say something. Right here, okay, I start seeing retail run. So now this comes back to, again, what is the main thing I want you guys to focus in on here tonight is how do I use retail run, right? And again, a lot of people kind of joke and be like, oh, Vinny, why do you waste your time in these other rooms? You know, if you're so good at what you do, why do you waste your time in the rooms? Look, folks, part of my strategy is getting on the other side of retail traders. We're just here to win, folks. I don't care how we do it. It's just we have to win, all right? So I'm using information from other places and other rooms, and I already know that most default people, and you can tell, okay, I know who's the good ones, who the bad ones, all right? And just in general, these chatty Cathys who are, you know, degenerate gamblers, I just know I want to get on the other side of their trade. So of course I'm going to be sitting there, yes, and I lurk in all kinds of rooms, folks, and I'm probably in yours. So if you've got a trade room that you're hanging out in, I probably have an account in there, and I'm probably hanging out, checking out what you're doing there, and I'm probably trading the other side of your trade. Today was a perfect example, okay? Now, what are my rules around retail run? So first of all, easy double dot, but how did I know to go ahead and hold this out for the big win? Oops. So how did I know we could hold this out for the whole move here on that double dot when we still got a little bit of, we really didn't get heat, because remember, we're looking for a break deep down underneath this area here before we're gonna get stopped out. And of course we got a harmonic here that tells us where that would be. Let's take a peek at, so how do we get this run? Let's pull up our room here and watch the call end to end. Okay, so from the call in, how do we know retail run? All right, yes, Kevin Chang nailing it with the double dots. All right, but how do I know I can hold this? All right, retail run. What gives me additional confidence and additional confidence? Because again, look, a little bit tough. You might say, well, we got shorts favorable, Vinny, so maybe I didn't take this. In fact, I had Shalom, our resident current noob, but he's a smart guy. But he said, well, Vinny, you're going against shorts favorable. But I easily told him, I said, but remember, what's my guide? On the ES, at that time, price was right here on the flat of the day. So what does that mean? That means that the favorable direction is canceled out, right? So this becomes a 0, right? So I get double dots. I'm at a plus 10 to 12, right? So of course I'm going to take that, right? And again, most of the time I'm going to take that double dot regardless of shorts favorable anyways. But he asked that earlier today. I go, there was all kinds of reasons. First of all, double dot I'm going to take against shorts favorable. I'm going to take it against any favorable direction. Double dot, I'm just going to generally, for me, I'm going to take the trade. Okay, I know the stats on it, and I'm going to take that trade anyhow. So additional pieces though, again, if you're even doubting that, again, follow the other rules that are supplementary to the entire strategy set. This is not just a signal service thing where you're going, you know, hit the button. In fact, okay, I don't think I put this over to you guys. Okay, so today we hit 13.55. Not a whole lot, not a big winner today. Okay, but 13.55, we're putting it away, single trade. In and out, wasn't a big one or anything like that. We didn't hit our 4K target, but again, on a slow day and knowing that FOMC and all that stuff is coming at the end of the week on a slow day, all I need is one good one. Okay, so here's what we go with. So we get the double dot in and retail run. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about retail run. What do I need? I'm going to give you the exact rules. Let's go into our notes section for retail run. How do I know I can hold this position? Okay. Find a noob room. Okay, this is probably not ours. You don't want to use ours. Again, we are a technical trade room. We're using all technicals, but the rooms that are feeling, you know, a lot of people who are giving their opinions, any room where, you know, you got a whole bunch of people using a whole bunch of different strategies. Okay, a lot of people using a bunch of garbage tools. If you find a room that's using Jigsaw, that's almost a guarantee you've got a great noob room. You know, if you're in Seth Ellis' room, that's 100% noob room, so definitely hang out and check that one out. It's a good one to find some noobs. Now, so number one, find your noob room, hang out. Okay, if you got others, even better. Go on Facebook, find some trading groups. Oh man, those are great ones. Look for people to get trade calls, and you can even encourage people to give calls. Be like, hey, what do you guys think about the ES? They're like, oh man, I'm thinking about a short. You get 2 or 3 guys saying they look for a short. Awesome, that's what you want. You want to get them talking. Okay, now a lot of times they just talk. Those are the best ones. Those are the easy ones. You get places like, you know, John Su is over there. He's Gamma Trader. You ought to call him Gabba Trader because he just gabs all the time. So he's a good one to follow, and then take the other side too. All right, so great setup. So find your noob room. Now part 2, you need 2 noobs in agreement. Okay, this is key. Not one. Okay, people have said before, hey, I saw this one guy, you know, that's not enough. You need 2 of them in agreement. Okay, you want 2 people who they're looking at the market and I'm doing air quotes here, their feelings are the market is taking a short. Okay, I had a perfect one today. I'm going to show you guys here in just a minute. I'm going to walk you through this whole thing. I just want you guys get the rules first, and then I'm going to show you how we roll through that today. Okay, 2 noobs in agreement. They both need to agree, yeah, we both agree short. Okay, now, no one opposing. Okay, you don't want them in disagreement. Okay, I don't want to, if somebody else has another idea or something like that, that's not good. Again, there is a specific strategy around this. They need to be in agreement. Okay, so they're looking to go, you know, looking to go short, great. And if somebody else says, hey, well, I don't know, I'm in a long or whatever. Okay, that's not going to help. Okay, so that's just basically balance. What you want is the market tipping their hand to them so that they put in. Okay, is the market bluffed them into getting into a position. Okay, now remember that even a broken clock is right twice a day. So sometimes they're going to be right. Okay, but we're not just entering in on the opposite side of their trade. So that's another thing. Do not, okay, what not to do. Okay, we are waiting until we have an opposing strategy entry signal. So I wouldn't have just jumped in opposed to 2 folks in agreement, although I'm starting to think that way, and now I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the opposite side. So in today's example, 2 guys looking to short the indexes. So I start looking for longs, and of course they were completely wrong. You can see, you know, they're at the end of the day. We get this big push up. I see we had a turtle in the opposite direction. I had a double dot. It was easy. So this is why I was kind of half laughing. At the same time, I feel bad for them, right? At the same time, these guys particularly, I have no qualms about. They've come into our room, tried to troll us before. So, you know, hey, it's kind of enjoyable to me. It's sorry, I hate that, because in Proverbs it says, hey, do not gloat over when your enemy starts to get beat up, because then then it takes it away from them. So I'm just gonna say I'm just observing. Okay, so here we go. Wait till you take an opposing entry strategy and take that trade with confidence. Hold it a little bit longer. All right, there it is. There's your notes. Take a screenshot. This is when I go in the room and I go R&R, little rest and relaxation. It does. It makes it easier. All right, it makes it much easier. You get 2 folks go on the opposite side. So today's double dot trade. Let's get right into it. You guys get the point on here. If you got any questions on that, pop them over in the room. I'll try to get them answered before the end. But let's get over to the actual trade itself today and how that worked for us. All right, and of course, special shout outs to those noobs. Salute! Thank you for your absolute terrible calls today. Really helped us out in our long position. Now, let's head up to that area and let's look at the call itself, shall we? We shall. All right, so let's pull it up here. I was hanging out in the gym. Oh yeah, and make sure you get your jams going, folks. You need to play some Vinny jams while you are trading. I highly recommend that. Let's make this big enough for you guys to see it. So here is our Discord room, and here is the futures pub room where we make, here's our call. So again, this is an afternoon trade. I was in and out of this trade maybe 20-25 minutes tops. Let's see how it went. Here it goes. There's the turtle call. Anytime you ever see this show up in the room, that means I've made a turtle call. So watch out. This is the ES turtle that we called right here. You can look back at the timestamps when we put this in. But let's go to the actual trade. So I'm getting in, looking at the volatility. We talked about the stuff early this morning, but I'm trading the afternoon, as you guys know from this morning. Finished out. All right, so we're very low on the VIX and molasses speed. There we go. Double dot on the Dow was the call. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. Here is the double dot call. Posted in the room, taking this trade. Okay, took a little bit of heat. I started out a little bit of red here. I had the 5s with me. The actual play is over here. So I'm entering in on my contracts. Again, I'm slipping in. It's very slow. So I get my contracts. Again, I really want to have, where's my stop? My mental stop is just down below the double dots here, okay? We're in the trade. Let's look at the next part. So watch the progression. Now right here, you see that I say, noobs are praying. This is a good sign, okay? And I post a screenshot of one of the noobs. You know, no offense to him, he's in some other room, okay? This is one of them that starts talking about, you know, his short side break, and there was some additional conversation around this area, right? So it just reinforced my long position thinking. Plus I had the turtle coming in on the ES, so we're looking long side. Pretty easy. There's the turtle call on the ES. We'll kind of start to speed this through. I show it at a different level. If you were to increase the opacity of the harmonics, you would see the turtle shell right in here with the neck right there. And you see the trap dot right here. Perfect turtle. You look for the head, and then we're looking for that pop, which is exactly what this ended up doing. Remember, this was previous. This is not after. This is before. This is the call before this occurred. And we said turtle power. This is the call. I said here's the neck, right? You can definitely see it on this one, right? We got the trap down here, aka the feet. We got a shell. We got a neck. What am I doing? I'm looking for a head. And of course, where am I entering? Go watch the turtle video so you know how to take that beast. All right. Great. I say it's easy. Nothing is ever easy, folks. So please don't get me wrong about when I say things easy. It's relative. Okay. Try to play with me here on the verbiage. All right. So my double dot trade starts to kind of work for me. We start getting into positive territory on it. Starts moving our direction. Awesome. I know this looks very small, but it's not. This is still a bigger time frame. And you know, we're pushing up into that area, and of course first targets there are at the 10 level, and I'm looking to get 10 and 15 out of this for my first 2 targets, and then we'll look to see if we get anything additional that helps us to catch that runner, which is what we got with the retail run, right? So I got that confidence. I got the retailers talking. That's what gives me that confidence. Again, I've got the retailers already 2 in agreement, and then my trade entry is there. We don't just jump on the other side. So I've already got a long. They're calling shorts. That's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? All right, so there's the call right here saying, here we go. We got 2 rooms short, retail run time, baby. And then bam, shortly thereafter, target 1 hits. Shortly thereafter, target 2 hits. Closing out the runner, target 2. Again, very slow market conditions here. I'm ready to take our money and run. There we go, ending it out there on that nice big push up, almost perfect right out of that double dot strategy. Gives me 10 and 15 target, 13.55 for that trade, right? All right, GN Soldier. Yep, we're wrapping it up right here anyway. So that's pretty much it. This was the trade there for the day. Want to go through that retail run strategy, and let's answer a few more questions over there in Ask Me Any Questions. If you guys do have other questions, pop those in the chat box. We'll try to get them answered here. So there's my special shout outs to the noob rooms. Here are the 2 jokers of the day who were talking in the noob room. So appreciate those guys. You guys keep chatting it up. Again, I'm in other rooms too, so I am getting additional information from other noob rooms. They're not the only one. They're just an easy one to pick on because they're the biggest. So yeah, easy. Hashtag winning. Okay. This was our topics board. Ugh, don't even get me started on what this mess is, but this is the kind of stuff that noob rooms use. All right, they go buy this kind of garbage that makes them think that they can see, you know, the Matrix. But if you actually zoom in on this, it's cancer. Like I'm not joking. There's actually, I swear, there's actually cancer on this, guys. You see this? Like, this is cancer. I'm telling you, if I took this to my brother-in-law, who's a whatever he is, pathological, surgical, whatever. Pathogens, all right, I'm pretty sure those are like diseases. I'm pretty sure his candles have, you know, the ganja stank or something, right? I mean, that's just not right. All right, but anyhow, so they're using that kind of stuff. I feel for them, you know, they're just not you know, whatever. Try out that algo box, folks. You might find a difference. All right, so we're talking about all the crazy balls they're using, yada yada. Had a lot of fun. All right, so let's get over to the Ask Vinny questions section. So people put in some questions there for the weekend. And here we go with Steve. Had a good chat with Steve over the weekend. So for the MACV signal, do I have a point value for the MACV? It's a tough one. If I'm going to give it a value, it's like a 5 to 7. Again, that's my very end of entry, right? It's my last one that I want to get. If I'm going to take, I've got lots of other entries I want to take. If I'm going to take, talked about when the favorable direction doesn't count. Could you explain this a little further? Yeah, let's hit that one real quick before you go there, GN Soldier. So he said, talked about when the favorable direction doesn't count. Could you explain this? Very easy. Yes. So let's hit that real quick. So here's the chart on ES. Remember, ES is a guide for other things, right? Why do we use the ES? This is the S&P 500. If you don't know the S&P 500 should be a guide for you, well, that's just a thing in the markets. ES is your guiding tool. It takes a little bit more to move it. NASDAQ might be crazy, going up and down, going in a direction. ES, where it's going, tends to be where the rest of those index markets are going to be going. So ES is the leader. Just know that. Put that in your notes. You should know that. I don't think you've been through our training yet or anything or seen this, but ES is sort of our guideline, right? I want to know where we're at in this market. And look at where the ES is sitting right here. Here's the answer. At that time of day, okay, ES was sitting right here, just completely flat. This is the line in the sand. You'll have this on your charts with the algo box. This is what we call the open right there. You're also usually going to see a volume node there on other days and time frames and whatnot. Again, we do use market profile. I use it in a different way for targets only. I don't use it for entries, as you guys already know, right? Good place to take an exit, right? You can kind of see it right there. There's my volume node. Where would I take my profits? Off of a turtle head move that was right here. Boom. Sure, I'm going to take off targets 1 and 2 right there. Absolutely. Easy. All right. So that's why I said it was flat and why it doesn't matter. So again, I'm always giving this value unless when we're close to this sandy line, this doesn't mean anything. Okay? So you need to use your other things. That's the only time when it's canceled out. Got it? Good question. And of course you learn all that stuff in our training. So make sure you get to that mentorship training. Hey Mikey, how's it going? Is it going good? You tell sister happy birthday?
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, go tell sister, say happy birthday. All right, go tell her. All right, let's see. So the MACV question, kind of answered that, Steve, on the MACV. Again, this is sort of the least of these, if you will, on my entry. And remember, I'm usually using this for a continuation and typically not an entry. It's my last resort if I've got to get an entry or if I'm looking for confirmation of an entry. If I have a single dot, I can use it as a second dot, right? So it's another 5 to 7 operator right there. All right, so a single dot plus a MACV, that's a 5 and a 5 or a 5 and a 7. You know how it goes, right? There's a range. It's 5 to 7 for green.
Color dog alert for
it's
NASDAQ.
7 to 15 for blues. You kind of get that, right? And of course, you know, the correlation is red and salmon on the other side of that, right? Hey, Mikey, you really want to get up in here, don't you? You want to hang out? Okay, let's get you over here real quick. Let's finish this out. We're almost done. This question. What video explains tide wave and ripples? Well, now, Curtis, correct me if I'm wrong. If you know of one very specifically that we can guide him to, let's do that. But this is kind of every strategy. Every strategy incorporates tide, wave, and ripple. This is a triple screen setup. It is tide, wave, ripple. That is just 3 time frames. And remember, our mid is actually in optimized. So up here, top left. It's a little bit different for me because I've got 11 screens, but right up here you guys should be able to see. Let's see if I can zoom that in a little bit for you. All right, there we go. Whoa, getting big. All right, so top left here, this is an 89 range chart. This is a big chart. So we got the tide, and think of it like water, okay? The whole concept comes from Alexander Elder's book, Trade for a Living, which is the only book I ever recommend if you're going to get one. That one, and then maybe the Mark Douglas seminar number 2, which I have down in the documentary section, so you don't necessarily need to go buy it. You might want to go listen to it. All right, if you got questions, of course you can hit us up in Discord there as well. So tide is sort of the big picture. It's kind of, is the tide rising or is it falling? All right, think about waves coming in at the ocean. Is the tide rising? Okay, tide rising, we need to be thinking longs. Now, what about the wave though? Okay, so on the tide coming in, if you're a surfer, right, just because the tide's coming in doesn't mean the wave is not going to go up or down. So the tide could be rising, okay, but the wave, we might be coming down at this moment. Okay, what's really good is on the tide, you know, think of them, let's use a different color here. Let's do some blue. So if you're riding, you know, a rising tide, okay, but right now, if you are here, right, the whole you are here sign, okay, and we're coming down, I still may be able to take this opportunity in the down direction. So I'm always using a guide of the tide and the wave. Now, I want these on a checklist. The ideal, if you're looking for, you know, if you're a sniper trader, okay, I'm not a sniper trader. I've told this before, and I use the gaming analogy. We'll do another video entirely, again, pretty soon to do the entire kind of gaming analogies that I use. But if you're a sniper trader, you want this to line up and this to line up. Okay. If you're not a sniper trader and you're more of a, you know, you're going in with machine gun, shotgun style, you know, we talk about different wieldings of how we execute our entries. So if we're coming in on the wave is tilting down, then I can actually ride this wave down for a short spell, right? But if I'm a sniper and I want one shot, one kill, and I want to make my entire profit target in one single trade, then I want to wait until I've got both of these kind of going with me. Okay? So I want the
Color
tide
dot
up,
alert for the
and I
down.
want the wave up. Okay? So those are our two, and then he said ripple. That's our third one. Tide, wave, ripple. Okay? And I'm constantly moving my eyes around in a circle on my screens, depending on how you have your charts laid out. But for me, it's, you know, tide is number 1, wave is number 2. So my eyes kind of come around like this, and I go down, and down below I have on the way that my screens are divided up. Okay, I got tide, wave, ripple, and then I'm coming back over here, and I've got MACV in here as well. But I'm kind of moving my eyeballs around in a circle constantly. Okay, knowing where I am in the sequence. Okay, this is a sequence, and I'm trying to unravel the sequence and where I'm going to go. So I'm constantly evaluating what signals are forming, what formations are forming, and of course, go pay attention to order of operations. I believe that's video number 8. Very important to follow every rule in that order of operations. This is a big key, tide, wave, ripple, and of course, remember, you're looking for your structure. Okay, and again, I'm relying a lot and heavily on harmonics now. Okay, in the past we used a lot more channels, a lot more standard wedges, but harmonics are much more powerful. They're much more, it's sort of like a hidden component there. Most people by hand are not drawing them. If you've ever tried to draw a harmonic by hand, you're going to know what I'm talking about. And if you're wondering what those harmonics are, that's kind of a perfect segue into that. But basically, here's tide, wave, and then I'm taking my entry on the ripple chart, right? So for instance, for today, what I was showing you guys where that double dot came in, I already had the tide, the wave. I do my normal stuff for tide, wave, ripple, cohesion, and confluence. And so I'm already know that I'm looking for my long direction. I know that, again, short's favorable. Remember, this doesn't matter because I already told you ES had already canceled this out. So all I care about is I've got a double dot, I've got retail run, I've got a green cipher about to form that's going to be right here, which is close enough for me. That's within my stop zone. I've got all these things in confluence and direction. So yes, I'm going to take a shot at this. You got me? Cool. Tide, wave, and then enter in on the ripple. 3 steps, and you're in. All right. All right, folks, we are right at about 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right here. If you guys got any other questions, make sure you head on over there to the Discord, chat with us. Curtis G, thanks for hanging out with me here. He's got my back. Let me pull down this. There we go. All right. Make sure you're following us over there on Facebook, Twitter, and of course there on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, and here is that chat. Over there on the left, there is study materials and quizzes. I highly recommend you guys go check those out. I'm gonna send it off right here for me, Peppy, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis G, and the rest of the gang. Let's send out that big H-Town! See ya!